Tuscaloosa is going to be loaded with big-time athletes going on official visits this weekend at Alabama. Here are a couple players I want you to keep an eye on moving forward. Stick around. Let's talk some recruiting. You love it. I love it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. It's Friday afternoon. Official visits are underway all over the country. We've got players visiting Texas. We've got players visiting Ole Miss. We've got players visiting everywhere, but there are guys in Tuscaloosa. The official visitors list this weekend right now, I'm just going to go through it really quick. Some of the guys that are in Tuscaloosa, five-star Brandon Arrington, which everybody knows, five-star wide receiver Tristan Keys did a visit earlier this week. I'm not saying Alabama's out of the equation there, but Keys is likely going to be an LSU Tiger. We can probably hang that one up. Four-star Elijah Golden, four-star Jaden Terry, who is the brother of the infamous five-star Justice Terry, who we followed to the very last painful, excruciating minute last season as he committed to Texas when it looked like for a while Bama was the school. Four-star Roman Voss, four-star Nick Abrams, three-star Javian Malroy, three-star Karen Maycock, three-star Marky Walbridge, and three-star Wilson Zaire. So, a lot of names. Not as big of a list as the last two weekends. Not as big as a list as the weekend coming up. That one's going to be huge. But that doesn't mean that Bama staff can't get some work done. I saw a video or a photo just a little while ago from, I believe it was Brett Greenberg posted it. It might have been Andrew Bone, but it was Nick Abrams hanging out with Coach Cap. I'm assuming the picture was from last night. It was kind of at dusk, but so they're already hard at work in Tuscaloosa. And you guys know just as well as I do, there's going to be a lot of cool images, a lot of cool stories, a lot of cool things coming out of this recruiting weekend. There will be some things that put Alabama fans on edge. You've got Sadarian Morgan over at Auburn. There's going to be a lot of stories that come out of that are going to make you nervous. I posted a video on why you shouldn't panic just a little while ago. Make sure you go and watch it. Take a deep breath. It is going to be okay. I promise. But let's talk about this group of guys. This group of guys is interesting because I think there's three names that I want you to kind of keep an eye on, and we'll go from the most least likely to the most likely to land with the Tide. We'll start here with four-star linebacker out of Maryland, Nick Abrams. Now, for those of you who have been following Nick Abrams and his recruitment, Abrams has some interest in Alabama, but as of right now, it feels very strongly like Michigan, Georgia. Those are the teams to beat. That doesn't mean to say Bama's out of it. He is going to be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. This is his second to last OV. His last one next weekend will be at the infamous Oregon. And so he did take an official visit to Georgia May 16th. He took another one up to Michigan the last weekend. He's in Tuscaloosa this weekend. So the staff, excuse me, Chuck Morrell, guys that are recruiting him, they've got a lot of work to do this weekend to kind of make sure they stay in the mix of this thing, looking at his trajectories, or what On3 calls RPMs. Michigan is favored by about 20% right now. Georgia's right behind them at 17%, and Bama's bringing up the rear there at 15%, and then Oregon right behind them at 12%. So this one is very, very close between those four programs. Very, very close. I think Oregon stands to make the most ground. Alabama, of course, they've got an opportunity this weekend. This will be, looks like his first legitimate official visit to Bama, or he did visit on an unofficial back in March. And so this will be his second time on campus. So Bama's going to have to do some work. He's been to Oregon once already. He's been to Georgia a couple of times, Maryland a couple of times, Duke, Texas A&M, Michigan. So Bama's going to have to do some work this weekend to really lock this one down with this defensive class that they're trying to put together at the linebacker position. We all know we're waiting on five-star Xavier Griffin's commitment on June 29th. We had him on the show last night. You can find that over on our channel. Had a really great discussion with him and his mom. But Bama's still in the mix for some other linebackers, Nick Abrams being one. So just I would watch his trajectory after this weekend. Of course, that could potentially change once he goes up to Eugene next weekend. We've seen some guys recently who haven't even really had Oregon on their radar, and then all of a sudden they take an official visit, and boom, they're committing. Nike money does things to people. We'll see as Oregon continues this push towards a potential number one class, which Alabama's in the mix for a number one class. There's a lot of schools in the mix for a number one class right now. We'll see what happens later in the year as the season starts and players kind of come off that official visit high and get in the right place. That's going to happen to Alabama. It's going to happen to other schools. Now, somebody else that I want you to pay very close attention to moving forward is four-star athlete Roman Voss. This is a 6'4", 210-pound guy. He's out of Minnesota. So, excuse me, sorry. He's out of Minnesota. Minnesota has the lead for him right now in terms of RPM, trajectory, prediction, however you want to say it. But Bama's right in there. Bama is in there. Brian Ellis is the primary recruiter there. Bama's right following up Minnesota, right on that rear. 33% to 23%. But keep in mind, this is a big visit for him. Minnesota got him earlier in the summer. I believe he was there May 30th that weekend. But he did take an unofficial visit to Alabama back in March. So this will be another chance to get him on campus to see how he's where he is in his decision making, to try to do what they can to kind of impress him. And potentially secure a commitment from him when he comes about ready to do just that. All right. Where are we at on time? Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I didn't want this to be too long. Now, the big one that I want you to watch is four-star defensive lineman Elijah Golden. Now, Golden, the 6'3", 260-pound defensive lineman out of Virginia. He's out of King George. This guy, Bama has come on in recent months very, very high. There's been a lot of rumors and talk around him. Alabama, Freddie Roach, a lot of guys are making a very, very big push for him. Bama right now in the trajectory rankings is sitting third behind Notre Dame and Virginia Tech, but the margin there is very, very slim. And so I just want you to kind of watch this recruitment. This could be a very, very big one for the Tide. Getting him on campus this weekend is huge. After this weekend, let's see where he will take a visit. He'll actually visit Notre Dame. So it looks like not only is Bama going to have to beat out Virginia Tech here, but they would also have to beat out Notre Dame. Now, Bama is definitely trying to beef up that defensive line with this class. They've already got a couple of guys, the edge position, the linebacking position. So he's been at Bama a couple of times on unofficials. He was there in March, and then he came back in April. He will take that Notre Dame visit on the 20th. He was at Oklahoma last week, Virginia Tech the weekend before. This is one that we definitely want to just – I see Bama potentially that trajectory shifting after this weekend. I know that in some circles they feel very strongly that Bama might end up being the team here for Elijah Golden. I'm not quite there yet. But I do believe that depending on what comes out of this weekend, Alabama could make some serious noise there with the four-star defensive lineman out of Virginia. So tell me, what do you think, man? I know everybody's waiting on commitments. Everybody's kind of freaking out. What's taking so long? I don't understand. I'm getting frustrated. I'm impatient. Look, things are happening, okay? Things are happening, I promise. It's funny, I just got a text. Andrew Bone just posted about Roman Voss measuring at 6'4" and a quarter and 230 pounds. Big dude. We just spoke about him. So, listen, the commitments are coming. I've said this in the past 3 videos. I'll keep saying it. Clint Lamb, who I admire and respect greatly, posted yesterday, like, look, I know everybody's impatient, but if they're coming, I just need you to be patient. Now, I will tell you that these 3 that are coming are likely, some of them are likely names that you're not super familiar with. They're not people that we're talking about all the time. Some of these are going to be 3-star guys. And I challenge you all to not be discouraged by that star rating. Keep in mind that in the fall, there will be a reevaluation by On3 and some of these other recruiting agencies. 247 does a big one too. and it kind of will reshape what these recruiting classes look like. Alabama's rating right now in their class is the second highest in the country, I think, right behind LSU's. They got the number one. I think they're 100% on blue chip. They're the number one in terms of blue chip recruits. It's just Bama's class is very much right now quality over quantity. The quantity is going to come. It is coming. A lot of these names that we're talking about on a regular basis that Alabama is in the mix for have commitment dates set. So you're not going to get those commitments until those commitment dates. Those all happen towards the end of this month, early July. Okay, Jair Edwards is like the 5th. Xavier Griffin's the 29th. They're all over the place. So it's going to be a very, very busy 2-3 weeks there towards the end of this month around the 4th of July. So as you're eating your hot dogs and shooting fireworks, make sure you're also subbed here at Way Offsides. Hit the notification bell because we'll bring you every bit of information. You'll get the notification on your phone. The minute someone commits, you'll know. If you want to find out before everybody else, before there's even a YouTube video, you can come follow us over on X at Way Offsides. Cotton, Bill, Jeff, Chris, all of us, Jay will, and we'll let you know. So thank you guys for sticking around. I know you love recruiting. We got a lot more we want to talk about outside of recruiting in the coming weeks. We're going to start looking towards the 2025 season. We've got tons of guests coming on over the next couple of weeks. Myself and Jeff will be on with JT over at the Bama Standard on Sunday on Father's Day. And so be sure to check that out. We've got Herman Raj coming on soon, Auburn Anonymous. We've got we're going to go toe-to-toe with some opposing fan bases. We're working on some more recruiting interviews, player interviews and things like that. So a lot of content coming your way. Chris and I are working on Happy Hour. For those of you who don't know what Happy Hour is, it's basically just a little video where we can talk about just the most ridiculous thing we can find in the news that week. It doesn't necessarily have to be football related, just something fun to kind of cleanse your palate a little bit. So be sure you're subbed so you don't miss a moment. You don't want to miss anything. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee to Roll Tide.